Following the Second World War in 1948, Ford France launched the first generation of Vedettes. Despite a pleasing design, sales remained limited, and by the early 50s, Ford was already working on its successor. But just as the replacement was ready for market, the American giant decided to sell its French subsidiary, which was bought by Simca. Simca therefore took over the Poissy plant and the brand new Vedette, which would only bear the Ford logo during the autumn of 1954 before being badged as a Simca. Designed at the American giant's headquarters in Dearborn, the well-proportioned Vedette offered a very American look, symbolized in particular by its small rear fins. While the Vedette abandons the separate chassis for a unibody and the front suspension is of the McPherson type, for the rest, this Vedette remains classic with its rigid axle and rear suspension with longitudinal leaf springs. The same goes for the Ford drum braking system in the engine. The Aquilon V8 with the central camshaft and side valves, whose design dates back to the 30s, is still in service. Coupled to a 3-speed transmission with a steering column shifter, this 2.3-liter 80-horsepower engine allows the Vedette to reach 145 kilometers per hour and go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 20 seconds. This large sedan with its modern interior can carry 6 people thanks to its front bench seat and features a trunk with a generous capacity. The Simca Vedette, with its rather flattering dashboard, comes in 3 trim levels. The entry-level model is the Trianon, followed by the best-selling Versailles, recognizable by its roof in a different color from the body, its additional headlights, its white wall tires, and so on. The Regent stands out with its chrome trim and two-tone paint, wire wheels, and a more luxurious interior that includes a radio as standard. As an option, the customer can also choose the Vista Dome sunroof, which includes a glass roof position. In 1956, Simca added a station wagon called the Marley to this range. Like the sedan, it can carry up to 6 people, but the space reserved for luggage is obviously larger, not to mention the roof rack that comes as standard. If that is not enough, the rear seat can be folded down for a payload of 500 kilos. But this station wagon, based on the Versailles and featuring a 2-piece tailgate, is also particularly well equipped with fog lights, reversing lights, an efficient heater, glove box lighting, a cigarette lighter, a clock, and a foot-operated high-beam switch. The Marley also features 2-tone paint and white wall tires. With no competition from other French manufacturers, the only flaw of this luxury station wagon is its high price. At the same time, the coach builder Chaperon offers a very pretty coupe version of the Vedette, which he names Orsay. Unfortunately, Simca management did not follow up. It was at the 1957 Paris Motor Show that our Simca grew a few centimeters in length and underwent a rejuvenation. Aesthetically, this Vedette features a new grille, hooded headlights, new taillights, larger bumpers, as well as a panoramic windshield and more imposing rear fins. The interior remains just as spacious and comfortable, and the trunk just as massive. At the same time, the electrical system was upgraded to 12 volts. As for the V8 engine, it was boosted to 84 horsepower, allowing the Simca to truly flirt with 145 kilometers per hour. The suspension geometry is revised and braking is slightly improved thanks to larger brake drums. From now on, the Vedette is available as the Beaulieu, which replaces the Versailles, and the Chambord, which takes the place of the Régence. This high-end model still features a 2-tone body with chrome trim and remains just as well equipped. As an option, this rear-wheel drive could be fitted with the Rushmatic transmission. This dashboard-controlled overdrive allowed for extended second and third gears. Even if its sales remain relatively confidential, the station wagon, still called Marley, continues its career. Finally, as an entry-level model, the Trianon is replaced by the Ariane 8. In 1958, Simca offers the Presidents with the goal of competing with Citroën and its DS at the highest level of the state, as well as with a clientele of business leaders and public figures. This President's is a Chambord, with a few minor differences. The spare tire is placed on a cradle at the back of the trunk, requiring new bumpers that incorporate the exhaust outlets. This Continental kit adds several centimeters to the Simca. The side moldings are partly unique to it, and it is delivered only in black, offering a luxurious interior, either with a front bench seat or a Pullman version, meaning with separate seats. Seats and benches, by the way, feature specific padding draped in quality upholstery, just like the dashboard, which is leather wrapped. For the record, the Élysée ordered 2 special versions of the Présidence in the form of 4-door convertibles with a lengthened wheelbase and partial armor. While testers at the time praised its comfort, they also criticized its lack of power. In 3 years of production, only 1,750 units of this Présidence were produced until 1961. While production of the Chambord ended in France in 1961, it continued on the other side of the Atlantic, in Brazil. Indeed, since 1959, the local Simca subsidiary has been assembling Chambords, Presidencies, and Marley station wagons, which take on different names depending on the version and model year, such as Jangada, Alvarada, or even Rally. The latter is adorned with various sporty features without actually being one. Sadly, the Brazilians criticized its poor build quality and lack of power. Simca do Brasil would correct the second point by installing a new 100 horsepower Ford V8 engine starting in 1964. That same year, the roofline was modified. At the end of 1966, its replacement, the Esplanada, was unveiled. It was closely derived from the first, except that the front and rear ends were completely redesigned. In 1967, Simca and all its subsidiaries came under Chrysler's control, and the Esplanada continued its career under the American manufacturer's badge, with its 2.5-liter V8 offering some 142 horsepower in its GTX version. The Esplanada would be produced until 1969. These Simca V8s were produced in over 165,000 units between 1954 and 1961 and just under 50,000 units in Brazil, but we must not forget that under the Vedette bodywork, Simca also marketed the Ariane, which was more economical and offered mainly with 4-cylinder engines, but that is another